Thank you all for joining us. We're Congregation Va-Dor, a non-denominational, musical, inspiring, and welcoming synagogue. And we are so proud to bring you Touch of Jewish History with Jerry Seinfeld tonight. He's not live with us, but he is on video with us. So I'm going to start. I'm Sharon Leibovitz. I'm going to start with a little bio, a short bio, and then we'll get right into showing you some great videos. Jerome Jerry Allen Seinfeld was born on April 29, 1954, in Brooklyn, New York. His father, Kalman Seinfeld, was of Austrian Jewish background and was a sign maker. His mother, Betty, is of Sephardi, Mizrahi, Syrian Jewish descent. Her family was registered as Turkish. In 1976, after he graduated from Queens College, Seinfeld turned out at an open mic night at New York's Catch a Rising Star. Soon after, he began appearing in a Rodney Dangerfield HBO special. In 1979, he had a small recurring role as Frankie on the sitcom Benson. In May of 1981, he made a highly successful appearance on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. Seinfeld then became a regular on similar shows, including Late Night with David Letterman and The Merv Griffin Show. In 1989, Seinfeld co-created the Seinfeld Chronicles, as it was known in the beginning, with his good friend Larry David for NBC. The show was later renamed Seinfeld, and by its fourth season became the most popular and successful sitcom on American television. On the show, Seinfeld played a fictional character of himself. The show left the air in 1998 after 9 successful seasons. Jerry says he left while he was on top. Seinfeld is also a best-selling author, most notably for his book Sign Language, released in 1993. The book went on to become a #1 New York Times bestseller. Jerry has also written a children's book called Halloween, and other books including Is This Anything?, which features his best comedy work over the course of his 45-year career. At the age of 45, Seinfeld married Jessica Sklar. They have 1 daughter and 2 sons and live in New York City. As a teenager, Jerry volunteered on an Israeli kibbutz and has expressed his lifelong connection to Israel since that Israeli experience. After the October 7, 2023 attacks on Israel, Seinfeld became a more public voice against anti-Semitism and in support of the Jewish people. He visited Israel to meet with the families of the hostages and raised awareness of their situation. Without any further ado, I'm going to get right into our videos. And I thank you again all for being with Va-Dor for our Touch of Jewish History and Jerry Seinfeld. Our first video that I have for you tonight is a biography about Jerry and his life and his career. And it's about 10 minutes long, and I hope you enjoy it.
Rarely has there been a comedian as successful as Jerry Seinfeld. You have to give it to the guy. He's almost a billionaire. And he attained most of his success writing and starring on a TV show about nothing. Seinfeld was born in Brooklyn, New York, April 29, 1954. He got his first taste of comedy from his father, Kalman Seinfeld, who collected and told jokes he had heard while serving in the military during World War II. It was while he was attending college at the State University of New York at Oswego that Seinfeld realized he wanted to pursue a career as a comedian. Jerry made his stand-up debut at an open mic in 1976. A few years later, he appeared on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson in 1981. In 1987, he starred in his own TV special and subsequently got to work developing the sitcom Seinfeld for NBC with the help of his friend and fellow comedian Larry David. Seinfeld ran for 9 seasons and was one of the highest-rated series in the U.S. during its tenure. Seinfeld is still aired in syndication, seemingly on an endless loop all across the world. After Seinfeld, he helped create the reality show The Marriage Ref. After that tanked, he wrote and directed the animated film B-Movie and developed the Netflix series Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, which he also hosted. In October, he published his new book, Is This Anything?, which details the Long Islander's path to success through a series of one-liners and humorous musings that reflect his signature New York City-centric stand-up style to a T. But really, how the heck did Jerry Seinfeld go from showing up at open mic nights to being one of the most celebrated and highest-paid comedians in history? And what's up with his latest plunge into the world of writing? He's obviously not hurting for money, so his latest book must be a labor of love. There's so much about Jerry Seinfeld's life worth taking a look at. He started at the bottom. According to Seinfeld, his first gig was when he was just 21 years old. He recalls his 5-minute set went really poorly, but he didn't let that stop him from pursuing his passion. He just needed to jump in and start doing stand-up, even if he had a few failures and setbacks in the beginning. He wasn't in it for the money or the fame. His comedy was his calling, and he wouldn't let anything hold him back from achieving his goals. In 1976, he had a rather successful set at an open mic night that ended up getting the attention of HBO. They invited him to appear on a comedy special starring the legendary Rodney Dangerfield, and from there, he kept impressing the right people. Seinfeld is a cunning man. He used the connections he was making to quickly climb the ladder. He turned down Mystery Science Theater 3000. Seinfeld was actually first on the list of potential hosts of Mystery Science Theater, but he turned down the opportunity to roast awful B-movies with Tom Servo and Crow T. Robot because he was focused on developing his own show at the time. Decades later, Seinfeld would make an appearance on the show when it was rebooted in 2017. How Jerry Met Larry David. Jerry first met Larry David in 1975, before he even realized comedy was his life's dream. David was already an active stand-up comedian at the time, and Jerry made his acquaintance when he found him leaning on his car outside of a New York improv club chatting it up with another comic. Seinfeld wouldn't formally get to know Larry David for another 3 years, but when they did, they immediately hit it off. The fact that both comedians were, quote, obsessed with the smallest possible issues, as Jerry puts it, is how they bonded. One of Jerry's career highlights was meeting the 42nd president. Seinfeld once told an interviewer that one of the highest points of his career was when he got a chance to visit the White House and meet then-President Bill Clinton. The two chatted it up for over 2 hours. We can only imagine most of that time consisted of Clinton laughing at Seinfeld's jokes. Jerry Seinfeld is obsessed with white sneakers. A normal person might own 1 or 2 pairs of white sneakers, if they're into that kind of thing, but Jerry's love for them far exceeds anything that could be called normal. Reportedly, Jerry owns over 500 pairs of white shoes. He was once asked what it was about white kicks he was so enamored of. He explained that 2 of his biggest fashion icons were New York Jet Joe Namath and Bill Cosby, and that their love for them is what got him hooked. The Marriage Ref. In 2010, Seinfeld produced a reality TV series called The Marriage Ref. The show was hosted by comedian Tom Papa and brought in guest celebrities to help struggling married couples try to reconcile some of their differences. The show never really caught on and was eventually canceled after the second season. The Puffy Shirt. Seinfeld fans are sure to remember Jerry's infamous puffy shirt. In 2004, he donated the questionable fashion choice to the National Museum of American History. While attending the event, he gave a speech where he humorously stated it was probably the most embarrassing day of his life. Poor Jerry. Quick side note, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to our channel. And keep watching to find out who Jerry Seinfeld's best friend is. He's actually written 3 books. Jerry's first book, Sign Language, was published in 1993. The book is a collection of jokes about dating, travel, finances, sports, childhood, and a whole bunch of other poignant topics. In 2002, Seinfeld published a children's book called Halloween. It's a collection of his own personal childhood memories. In the book, he details what a Halloween celebration was like from his point of view as a kid. Throughout the tale, Jerry makes use of the same variety of observational comedy he's become synonymous with. He's given up acting to return to stand-up. After 2007's Bee Movie, Jerry retired from acting. Sure, he might appear in a TV series from time to time, but he almost always cameos as himself. He decided to exit the acting game so he could concentrate all of his efforts into his stand-up career. According to him, the world of comedy is more alluring than acting because it's meritocratic. If someone's not funny, people aren't going to show up to see their show. You can't fake it until you make it, as some do in Hollywood. Jerry's friendship with George Wallace. One of Seinfeld's best buddies is comedian George Wallace. Before Jerry made it, the two lived together for many years. Jerry was always a fan of observational comedy, while Wallace favored improv. For Wallace's first stand-up gig, he put his improvisational skills to the test by showing up on stage dressed as a reverend. Other than the costume choice, he had no other material prepared. Lo and behold, Wallace nailed it and had the audience in tears by the end of his set. When Seinfeld got married to author Jessica Sklar in 1999, Wallace served as his best man. Seinfeld's spiritual and religious views. Jerry grew up in a very Jewish family. He even traveled to Israel to volunteer at a collective agricultural community known as a kibbutz when he was 16. But it appears his interest in Judaism started to wane once he reached adulthood. In the early 90s, he dabbled in Scientology. He never actually joined the organization, but he was pretty interested in it. Maybe he dodged a bullet there. In 2012, he expressed he'd been practicing transcendental meditation for 40 years. Seinfeld has called the spiritual practice the greatest companion technique he's ever come across and has vocally touted its ability to treat post-traumatic stress disorder. He's also called it the greatest life tool he's ever found. He got fired from his first role. In 1980, Seinfeld landed the minor role of Frankie on ABC's Benson. Frankie was a young male delivery boy at an office building who annoyed the heck out of his co-workers by subjecting them to his unsolicited comedy routines. The writers of the show weren't feeling his character and decided to nix him from the script without letting him know. He didn't find out he'd been fired until he showed up to do a read-through, and to his befuddlement, he didn't get a script. Tough break, Jerry, but at least you didn't let it get you down. Seinfeld wasn't pitched as a show about nothing. When Larry David and Jerry pitched their idea for Seinfeld in 1988, they referred to it as a show about a comedian gathering material for his stand-up routine by drawing upon the happenings of his personal life. The notion that it was a show about nothing didn't come until much later, when the joke was made in the show itself. Jerry the Therapist? When you're famous, you're always going to have some haters. That's just the way it is. That being said, Jerry's method of putting his critics in their place is pretty astounding. Whenever a heckler yells out something rude or obnoxious, he doesn't berate them or humiliate them. Instead, he replies to their insults as if he was a therapist addressing a client. Not only does this approach throw off his ridiculers who can't seem to figure out how to respond to his faux sympathy, but it also draws laughter from the audience, which last time we checked is kind of the whole point of being a comedian. Who knows what's on the horizon for Jerry Seinfeld? Netflix recently released his first original stand-up special in 22 years, titled 23 Hours to Kill, which actually earned him a Grammy nod. And with the publication of his book, it's clear Seinfeld hasn't run out of steam. We'd love to hear from you. What's your favorite Seinfeld episode? Our favorite is the opposite, but the contest is a close runner-up. Drop your favorite episode in the...
So we'll end that one. All right, so the next one I have is the first time he was on the David Letterman show in May of 1982, and he is age 28. And he does his little stand-up shtick, so hope you'll enjoy this.
Thank you so much. Jerry Seinfeld is a very likable and inventive young comic who has been working all across the United States in nightclubs and on other television programs. Yes, there are other television programs. This is his first appearance on our show, and we're very glad he's here. Please welcome a very funny gentleman, Mr. Jerry Seinfeld.
I love this crowd. I love you right off the bat. I'm very glad to be here because, and I'll tell you exactly why, because this is New York. It's spring, isn't this? Don't you feel it? Don't you feel it? That certain spring thing. I was watching the weather report before I came in tonight, and I really feel for these guys that do the weather, because let's face it, it's a tough job. They have to make this thing sound important. They're on the news, you know what I mean? So the guy comes out and he's got maps. Well, we have a high, we have a low. We have a front coming in soon. And then my favorite part, the satellite photo. Now this is really helpful, huh? What is that? It's a photograph of the Earth from 10,000 miles away. Can you tell if you should take a sweater or not from that shot? I have no idea. If I really need to know the weather, I watch Romper Room. The kiddie show, they lay it on the line. I mean, if the little Willie guy in the wall gets a raincoat, I know what's happening. I like it that way. I like it simple. I'm living in L.A. now, and I don't know if you've ever been there. The weather there doesn't change that much, and the weather guy there is the most frustrated guy in television. This guy, he's got nothing to say. You know what I mean? The poor guy comes out night after night. Here's Dave Wilson with the weather. Same weather. Tomorrow's the same, too. Back to you, Bob. Guy doesn't even show up for work half the time, you know what I mean? They go to his house, he's got the Hawaiian shirt, can of beer, same. I told you yesterday. I grew up right here. I grew up on Long Island. Thank you. It's the only place you can count on. Yeah, and I have contacts now. I had glasses when I was 10 years old. And, you know, I don't know if you ever had something like that. Glasses at 10, you know, somebody puts something on your face at 10, you leave it there. You don't know the difference. I thought I was getting glasses because I couldn't tell what my parents looked like. Because every time I'd ask my mother to buy me something, she'd say, "What do I look like, a bank?" And you know what I was thinking? I'll tell you. When you're 10, your parents are the bank. You know what I mean? If I'm 10 and I need money, could I walk in and Chase Manhattan and get money? The teller's just going to say to me, "What do I look like, your mother?" Hit the road, Four Eyes. I also had braces. I want you to get this picture now, okay? Glasses at 10, braces at 12. I was thrilled to have these things on my face. I mean, you know, you're thinking about talking to a girl for the very first time in my life. I want a lot of corrective apparatus on my head. This is what women like. I said to my parents, let's not stop now. Let's get me a hearing aid, orthopedic hearing aid. Like a human science project, you know. Appearance plagues us, you know. All through your life, you worry, how do I look? I feel like I want to help sometimes. I don't know. Every time I go to an ice cream stand, doesn't this happen to you? There is always one tremendously fat person there. And I don't mean to be cruel. I want to help. Do you ever feel that? I just want to walk up and say, "Excuse me, I don't know you. Do you think you really need it?" It's unbelievable. I mean, there are limits of this that, you know, people have probed. Have you ever seen the Guinness Book of World Records, the fattest man in the world? This is unbelievable. According to the Guinness Book, anyway, the fattest man is Bob Hughes, 1,400 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, the man has let himself go. Come on, Bob, have a salad, do something. One light me. I'm telling. I used to not even want to talk about this guy because I thought it might be offensive, you know, to somebody in the audience. And then I thought about it. You could be in the audience. You could weigh 1,000 pounds, you know, and still go, "He's not talking about me." This is a man with a serious weight problem. But I hope that someday, I'm hoping for Bob. I'm pulling for him. I want him to go on a diet, take off a couple hundred pounds. Do you realize 200 pounds does not make a dent on this guy? If you're a friend of his, what would you say to him? "You know, you look great, Bob. What are you down to, 1,200 now?" And what is he going to say in response? "And you know, I feel terrific." Thank you very much.
Jerry Seinfeld, ladies and gentlemen. Very nice. You ever get a loan from the Libyans? No. Good. We'll be right back. Jerry, you're going to Dallas, Texas?
Dallas, June 1 through 6. we in the business, we say one. We haven't got time to say first.
Yeah. It'll be pretty much the first week in June.
Yes, yes.
There's a club down there you're working?
I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you have a club in Dallas, phone and Jerry will come by. I want to thank everybody who was here tonight.
I hope you smiled a little bit from that. And the next one I have for you is Johnny Carson. And this is not his first one. This is in 1982. He's age 30. And he's been on Johnny Carson at this point several times. And
Jerry Seinfeld has been with us before. He's a very funny young comedian, and he will be appearing at Cobb's Pub. Cobb's Pub. Come on, there's something wrong there. Cobb's Pub in San Francisco, August the 16th to the 18th, and in Vienna, Virginia, on August the 25th. Would you welcome, and quickly, Jerry Seinfeld.
Hey! Hi. Well, I'm here. We're all here. You're here. I think that's important. Because you wanted to go out today. You're here. You wanted to go out. You felt like going out. And now you've done it. But you have to go back. And sometimes it seems to me like this is all we do in life. You sit around the house, you go, I want to go out. You go out, you stand around somewhere for a little while, and you go, I got to be getting back. I've been out. I got to get back. I want to go to sleep. I want to get up. I want to go out again tomorrow. Plus, I got to go to work. I get home from work. I got to get out. I go out. I got to get back. Wherever you are, you got to go in life. People understand that. You go up to them. Can you stay? Nope. Got to go. Okay. I went out the other day myself. Went to buy some shoes. Something happens when you buy shoes. Shoe salesman, you can always tell when a shoe salesman's working on commission. You know, he always gives you those lines like, gee, we didn't have that sandal in your size. How about these rubber hip boots? You look like you like seafood, you know. But that's a tough decision, you know, when you try on shoes, because you got to walk around that store kind of like a zombie. You know, you try on shoes and you just kind of walk around, yeah, these are good. Yeah, I like these. Your whole mind goes right into the feet trying to make that decision. Yeah. Then you go, it's such a hard decision, and they don't help you. You have that little 1-foot mirror, that little mirror. What do I need that for? To get an idea what my cat will think of the shoes? What is the point of that angle? In case I'm walking down the street past a bump, you know, passed out in the curb, what do you think of these? So I got into an argument with the guy. I didn't want to buy this. You know, you always feel like guilty about you didn't want to buy them. And this. I don't smoke cigarettes, but I'll tell you, when you argue with someone, that's the moment when I wish I did. You know, cigarette is the best thing to have in an argument, you know? Cigarette smokers, you know, they're always waving it around, you know. You see what I'm saying? Because I have a cigarette, you have nothing. But their best moment, this is the one I really love, when they put that cigarette out, that argument is over. You know what I mean? I can stand there, I feel this, I think this. They go, really? That's your whole opinion? And it's all over. But smoking, I guess, is something you do. It makes you feel like you're growing up. I joined the Cub Scouts when I was a kid. I think you can tell that. Certain inner confidence you have when you've been through an organization like that. I'm sure we have some ex-Cubs here in the... Hey, wow. Anybody still go to the meetings? Kind of tough to stay with it after a while. I remember that uniform, boy. I love that little outfit. At least I thought I would. The blue shirt, the blue pants, blue cap, little yellow button on the top. Little teeny yellow neckerchief, and a huge chunk of metal around your neck. I was a little kid. That thing was like a toaster oven to me, you know. Somebody walks by me with a magnet, I'd go, hey, hey, hey. It takes me 25 minutes to set the outfit up. I go outside, get beat up, come back, put my regular clothes on. I couldn't get anywhere in that outfit. I think that's why we had to form packs to survive. And I really thought that it would be a thing with girls to have a uniform, you know? I thought it would help. I would go up to girls in the schoolyard with the uniform on, and I'd go, you know, I'm only on a 3-day pass. And then she would beat me up. Nobody likes you in that outfit. I think that's why they teach Cub Scouts to do a lot of camping. I think if we had normal clothes, we would check into a hotel like anybody else. In that outfit, you want to be in the woods, and you just wait there for the Cub Scout master to come out and go, all right, men, we've been out. We got to be getting back. Thank you so much.
That's funny stuff.
Thank you, thank you.
That's very funny
I
stuff.
feel funny tonight.
Yeah, what? Do you? You ever have those days where you don't feel funny?
Yeah.
You get up and you know, nothing's cooking?
And then somehow you get out there and the audience makes you feel silly for some reason.
Yeah.
They laugh and you go, yeah, that is funny.
Yeah.
You know?
You got any other funny people in your family? Brothers, sisters?
I have a sister.
Yeah.
I don't think she's that funny.
Yeah.
She got married.
That's nice.
Yeah, that was real nice. A shock always, I think, to the sibling. I was upset, I think. Well, you know, when a brother or sister gets married, the way you know them, you can't believe anyone would marry them.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, what they're in for. Right. You're right.
I met this guy. I said, can I talk to you for a second? Have you ever tried to borrow a record album from him? Ever shared the back seat in a long car trip? You're in for trouble.
Yeah. You got it. Funny. We got to pause here. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Stay where you are. Good stuff.
Hope you enjoyed that. Now I have 2 episodes, mini episodes. The first one is the Penn episode, which is 1991, and he is age 37. He started the Seinfeld show when he was 35, so I will show you that, and I hope you enjoy this one.
What kind of pen is that?
This pen?
Yeah.
Oh, this is an astronaut pen. It writes upside down. They use this in space.
Oh, wow, that's the astronaut pen.
Yeah.
I heard about that. Where did you get it?
Oh, it was a gift.
Oh, 'cause a lot of times I write in bed, and I have to turn and lean on my elbow to make the pen work.
Take the pen.
Oh, no. Go ahead. I couldn't.
Come on, take the pen.
I can't take it.
Do me a personal favor.
No, I'm not
take
comfortable.
The pen.
I cannot take it.
Take the pen.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. Take the pen.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Gee, boy.
Jack, what are you doing?
Stop
Jack,
it.
we should go. It was nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks again, Jack.
She's adorable. What'd you take his pen for?
What? He gave it to me.
But you didn't have to take it.
Oh, my God. She's got to make a big deal out of everything.
He offered it to me.
Because you made such a big fuss about it.
I liked it. Should I have said I didn't like it?
You shouldn't have said anything. What do you expect him to do?
We could have said thank you. I like it too, and put it back in his pocket.
He loves that pen.
Oh, come on.
He talks about it all the time. Every time he takes it out, he goes on and on about how it writes upside down, how the astronauts use
If
it.
he likes it so much, he never should have offered it.
He didn't think he'd accept.
Well, he was wrong.
So where's the new pen?
What?
The pen, the one Jack Klompus gave you.
How did you know that?
Blanche told me.
Blanche?
That's some good pen. Writes upside down.
The astronauts use them.
What did Blanche say?
I don't know. She said Jerry wanted the pen.
I never really wanted the pen.
He gave him the pen.
Morty?
Why, you don't like the pen?
No.
Because if you don't like it, give it back to him.
Is that what she said?
Who?
Blanche.
What are you talking about?
Hello? Oh, hello, Gussie. What? Jerry wouldn't do that. Jack gave it to him.
Mr. Klompus, it was really a nice gesture of you to give me the pen, but I don't really need it.
You what?
I mean, it's a terrific pen, but I think you should keep it.
Well, I mean...
Take it.
All right.
No, Jack, you got a hell of a nerve taking that kid's pen.
Whose pen?
His pen.
This happens to be my pen.
Oh, you didn't give it to him?
What are you talking about? He practically begged me for it.
Why do you come off with this crap?
Listen, do you think I take everything everybody offers me? You offered me sponge cake yesterday. Did I take it?
You said you didn't want it.
Of course I wanted it. I love sponge cake.
Then who the hell said you couldn't have it? I mean, what the hell do I care whether you have a piece of sponge cake?
Because I saw the look on your face last week when I took the Scotch tape.
Oh, so you got the Scotch tape. I've been looking all over for it.
Don't worry about it. I'll give it back.
I don't want it.
I don't want it.
You know, Jack, do me a favor, will you? Take the pen and the Scotch tape and get the hell out of here.
Listen, do you think I give a damn? But we do owe him a debt of gratitude because by not fixing the crack in the sidewalk, it put Mrs. Zivin out of commission for a few weeks.
Tell him about when you took my son's pen back. Tell him about that. Dad, he gave my son a pen, and then he takes it back. Tell him about that.
Took it back? He gave it to me.
Come on, that's enough. Sit down.
I'm not finished.
Give me that microphone.
Morty, Morty, give me that.
Give the pen.
You broke it. My dental plate. Doris, you broke my dental plate. You son of a...
Where's my pen?
I'm going to sue you.
Jerry, do your act.
Oh, I can't. Nobody's even listening.
They're all gonna leave.
I got witnesses.
How you folks doing tonight?
Who are you?
Have you ever noticed how they always give you the peanuts on the plane?
Not by Harry. He flies first class.
The number one thing everybody wants to get on a plane is a peanut.
I'd rather have a bottle of scotch.
All I said was I like the pen.
And the next episode I have for you is the Soup Nazi, and that one is really famous, so I hope you like this one too.
Hey, Jerry! I didn't know you liked soup.
Hard to believe.
This guy makes the best soup in the city, Jerry. The best. You know what they call him? Soup Nazis.
All right, I'm not letting you cut in line.
Why not?
Because if he catches us, we'll never be able to get soup again.
Okay.
Medium turkey chili.
Medium crab bisque.
I didn't get any bread.
Just forget it. Let it go.
Excuse me, I think you forgot my bread.
Bread, $2 extra.
$2, but everyone in front of me got free bread.
You want bread?
Yes, please.
$3! What? No soup for you.
This is fantastic. How does he do it?
You know, I don't see how you can sit there reading that and not even offer me any.
I gave you a taste. What do you want?
Why can't we share?
I told you not to say anything. You can't go in there, brazenly flout the rules, and then think I'm going to share with you.
Do you hear yourself?
I'm sorry. This is what comes from living under a Nazi regime.
Well, I gotta go back there and try again. Good afternoon. One large crab bisque to go. Red. Beautiful.
You're pushing your luck, little man.
Sorry. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey there. Oh. One mulligatawny and, what is that right there? Is that lima bean?
Yes.
Never been a big fan. You know what? Has anyone ever told you look exactly like Al Pacino? You know, Scent of a Woman. Hoo-ah! Hoo-ah!
Very good. Very good. You know something? No soup for you! Come back. 1 year. Next.
One large jambalaya, please.
So, continue.
Well, my friend is awfully disappointed is all. Now, she's very emotional.
Thank you.
Jambalaya.
All right, now listen to me. You have been a good friend. I have an armoire in my basement. If you want to pick it up, you're welcome to it. So, take it. It's yours.
How can I possibly thank you?
You are the only one who understands me.
You suffer for your soup.
Yes, that is right.
You demand perfection from yourself, from your soup.
How can I tolerate any less from my customer?
Gazpacho, por favor.
Por favor?
I'm part Spanish.
Adios, muchacho.
Hi. Kramer gave me the armoire, and it is so beautiful. I mean, I just can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
You? If I knew it was for you, I never would have given it to him in the first place. I would have taken a hatchet and smashed it to pieces. Now, who wants soup? Next, speak up!
Hello.
You think you can get soup? Please, you're wasting everyone's time.
I don't want soup. I can make my own soup. 5 cups chopped porcini mushrooms, half a cup of olive oil, 3 pounds celery.
That is my recipe for wild mushroom.
Yeah, that's right. I got 'em all. Cold cucumber, corn and crab chowder, mulligatawny.
Mulligatawny?
You're through, soup Nazi. Back it up. No more soup for you.
The next one I have is just a brief little biography, just a 2-minute one.
Jerry Seinfeld is an American comedian and actor who is famous for his role in the popular sitcom Seinfeld in the 1990s. Apart from that, he is also known for his involvement in stand-up comedy and other television shows. Seinfeld was born on April 29, 1954, in Brooklyn, New York City. He began performing in comedy clubs in 1976, and by the early 1980s, he had appeared on popular television shows like The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson and Late Night with David Letterman. However, Seinfeld's success truly skyrocketed when he created and starred in the television comedy series Seinfeld with his friend, Larry David. The series ran for 9 seasons from 1989 to 1998 and became one of the most popular sitcoms of all time. After Seinfeld ended, Seinfeld continued to perform in stand-up comedy, and in 2002, he created a new television show called Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. The show features Seinfeld talking and driving with guest comedians while enjoying a cup of coffee. As a comedian, Seinfeld is known for his smart and funny humor. He often observes small things in everyday life and finds a way to make it funny. Additionally, he is also known for his ability to execute clean and classy material, which appeals to audiences of all ages. As an actor, Seinfeld has also appeared in several movies and television shows, including B-Movie, Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Louie. Overall, Jerry Seinfeld is one of the most famous and influential comedians in history, with significant contributions to the field of stand-up comedy, television, and film. He is known for his ability to entertain his audience and make people laugh with his unique and classy humor style.
So the next one, 9 years after Seinfeld finished, the 4 main stars, had a get-together called a round table. And it was about an hour-long show, and I just picked off the first 13 minutes of it.
9 years! Jesus, Mary and Joseph, that's a long time to do a sitcom, my friends. That is how long Seinfeld ran on NBC. That's also how long it has been since the show's cast and crew went our separate ways. Unfortunately, over the past few years, Seinfeld has become something of a forgotten relic. Believe it or not, there are parts of the United States where the show can only be seen 4 times a day. Alarmed by this disturbing trend, our 4 main cast members and co-creator Larry David have agreed to gather here on this stage and reminisce about the years we spent putting the show together. For those of you who have loved and watched Seinfeld over and over, this is your chance to look back with some new insights into what went on behind the scenes, which I can tell you, nothing went on behind the scenes. That's why we had to write the scenes. For those of you who have never seen Seinfeld before, this would have to be the worst possible way to be introduced to the show. Enjoy. See, now to me, that button's in the worst possible spot. The second button literally makes or breaks the shirt. Look at it. It's too high. It's in no man's land. You look like you live with your mother.
Are you through?
You do, of course, try on when you buy.
Yes, it was purple. I liked it. I don't actually recall considering the button.
Oh, you don't recall?
No, not at this time.
I thought I wasn't allowed to be in here this weekend.
No, it's okay now. That girl's not coming. I misread the whole thing.
You want me to talk to her?
I don't think so.
No, I can be very persuasive. You know that I was almost a lawyer?
That close, huh?
You better believe it.
Whenever he would lean in on me, that's when I would have trouble.
Those characters are totally formed right there. I thought I'm kind of amazed. Yeah.
His changed the most.
Right away.
Yeah, his changed the most.
Somewhere late in the second season, and I said, "You're doing something different. What is it?" And you said, "They think he's the dumbest guy in the room. He's the smartest guy in the room."
Yeah, he used to play like he was dumber than everybody,
Right.
And then he started playing that he was
That
smarter
you were
than
smarter, that you had information these other idiots didn't know.
That's such a great choice.
We never even let him in the coffee shop.
That's right.
Yeah, with that, we made up
We
these
used to
rules.
confine him to one little zoo-like scene.
No.
He can't be among adults in society.
Because we had that thing that he never left the building.
Yeah.
We like,
You know, the building I lived in New York, I couldn't get into the building unless I was buzzed in by somebody.
Right.
And Kramer used to buzz me in. So I was totally dependent on Kramer being home, okay? At any time of the day.
Well, how can, what are you talking about?
This is true. This
So
is
if he's
true.
not home, you
I was
can't
in
get
the
home.
building illegally, okay?
Oh, I see.
You're not allowed to sublet, or there was some rule or something. And so the only way I could get in was to say that I was visiting Kramer. And if he wasn't home, I had, then I had to go to somebody else. And, I had a list of like 10 people, but Kramer was always there.
But not with a dog. We had a dog in that scene.
First year we had a dog.
Yeah.
A dog. That's what
That
we
was so
thought would
could
Kramer have a dog.
So we could do the dog stand-up. That was the only reason.
That was the only reason?
I had a good bit on dogs, so... And the idea in the beginning was that the stand-up was going to relate to the scene. I think my favorite dog thing is when you have to leave him in the car, and he's just sitting there in the front seat. Because the dog body in the car seat is the only time that your head and his head are at the same height. You know what I mean? Because they love when they're up there in the front. They go, "This is more like it." I think you and I should be together all the time. Except when they turn. When you turn, they can't handle the turns. I got no thumbs. Take it easy. The dogs stick their heads out the window. They love that in the car, don't they? I don't know what it does for them, but there is just no doubt that this is the thing. When they are doing that, I don't know what they're thinking. Like, boy, if I could run this fast.
It was too much to have to deal with the dog every week.
Are you kidding?
Absolutely right.
I imagined if we got picked up that I'd be in my dressing room always working with a dog. I felt I'd have to bond with it. It'd have to be my dog. Maybe I should take the dog home. I'll really have to get into this dog.
To really play it.
Yes, oh, definitely. It's my dog.
I was hopeful that the Seinfeld Chronicles could actually make the fall schedule.
And we'd heard that it was well received when they screened it for the executives at NBC, but then we heard the testing had come in.
The research report on Seinfeld was pretty disastrous. Pilot performance, weak.
You know, a lot of this is dead on. George was viewed as a wimp and only mildly amusing. Viewers said he whined. That's true.
But if you get a group of people together, they're going to criticize anything. How could any reports be good?
Yeah.
It's just so much easier to go to your brilliant observation about what was wrong with the show than about what you liked.
How did we get beyond this? What was the what was the magic ingredient?
I guess it was Rick Ludwin.
Rick Ludwin.
Rick Ludwin initially prevailed upon Brandon Tartikoff to give it a chance. But they never thought I don't think anybody thought that it was going to take off.
They liked it, but after the 13, they still wanted changes. They were pushing us in a particular direction.
You're kidding.
No.
What changes did they want?
They didn't like shows, like the Chinese restaurant was a huge thing for them. They hated that show. They wouldn't let us air it when we wanted to air it.
I feel like just walking over there and taking some food off of somebody's plate.
I'll tell you what. There's $50 in it for you if you do it.
What do you mean?
You walk over to that table, you pick up an egg roll, you don't say anything, you eat it, say thank you very much, wipe your mouth, walk away, I give you $50.
Should I do it, George?
For $50? I'll put my face in this soup and blow.
That was a great read. That was very good, Jason.
When people ask me what was your favorite episode, I said I don't have a favorite, but that's the one I use as a marker because of exactly what you were talking about. They didn't really want us to do it. When we read it, I thought, this is a great script.
Yeah.
And we prevailed and we shot the show, and I thought, well, even if we go off the air, we stood for something in our time.
Yeah.
What's happening with the TV show? You come up with anything?
No, nothing.
Why don't they have salsa on the table?
What do you need salsa for?
Salsa is now the #1 condiment in America.
Do you know why? Because people like to say salsa. Excuse me, do you have any salsa? We need more salsa. Where's the salsa? No salsa.
You know, it must be impossible for a Spanish person to order salsa and not get salsa.
I wanted salsa, not salsa.
Don't you know the difference between salsa and salsa? You have the salsa after the salsa.
See, this should be the show. This is the show.
What?
Yes, just talking.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm really serious. I think that's a good idea.
Just talking? What's the show about?
It's about nothing.
Now, what about this nothing thing? Does that confound you that the adhesive quality that bit had in the public's mind, that the show was about nothing, which, of course, is
ludicrous,
ludicrous and impossible.
But it was a great label for the style of what the show is.
Well, it's about small things.
Even though there were solid storylines, you guys were cavalier about going off story to follow a funny run. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes the funny run would be the really memorable thing of that episode. I think that had something to do with the perception of they just talk about stuff.
Right,
you know?
right. So you think we did that more than other sitcoms?
I think
did?
we were the only.
Well, I'll tell you something. The constant struggle for us was to try and keep those in the show because they're usually the first things to get cut because they're not advancing the story. Yeah, it was easier to do some of that tangential stuff in the first few seasons. Then the show got too dense. Mm-hmm.
Well, I screwed you, and I take full responsibility for it. When Michael and I were not in the pen. And I came to you and I went, don't ever do that. And I basically threw down the gauntlet. I said, and you said, do you know how hard it is to write 4 people? I was such an asshole.
Oh, my God.
But I said,
he had like a Godfather talk with me, you know.
A sit down.
He had like a Tony Soprano thing with me. Even before that show, though. I mean, that show was an exception because you weren't in it, because they did go to Florida. There was no way to get you in that show, and I wanted to do a Florida show, but at some point during the second season, you know, I just realized that I just wanted everybody, I didn't want to come into an unhappy set.
Right.
I wanted the actors to be happy. I didn't want them to get a script and look at it and be disappointed. So, remember, we thought like, yeah, we're just going to try and, you know, give everybody something good to do.
And we had the horses. It wasn't like you were suffering in any way, you know, by going to one character or another. Any horse could have pulled the show.
Sure.
What a lovely metaphor.
Horses?
Thank you.
Well, maybe not the most flattering to the feminine, but to the masculine, do you want to be a horse?
All right.
Well, I remember looking at the boards as you were developing scripts, and you'd have the columns of this guy does this guy goes here, this guy goes here.
Controversy.
And the greatest ending you ever came up with on the fly was in that marine biologist putting that monologue in at the end.
What was the beginning of that speech? The sea was what?
The sea was angry that day, my friend. The sea was angry that day, my friends. Like an old man trying to send back soup in a deli. I got about 50 feet out, and suddenly, the great beast appeared before me. I tell you, he was 10 stories high if he was a foot. That was, and one of the biggest live sustained laughs we ever got.
Yeah, that one was a huge one. The one about the panties.
Yeah, they're all laid out.
That was fun.
So I reached my hand in, felt around, and pulled out the obstruction.
Look at his face. This is a great hole there, Michael.
What is that, a Titleist? A hole in one.
I'll go visit my mother. She just bought me some new panties and they're all laid out for me.
Cause when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you.
I'm out.
You know, the panties laid out. You know what was so great for me during that is that I get to go behind the closed door and just listen to it. And I didn't have to hold for it or anything. And it was such a great feeling.
But I was so proud of you for holding for that laugh.
No, it was perfect.
And I was
see,
praying that
like
it was going to
50
hold.
different beats happened in you.
Yeah,
in that hole.
Yeah,
you know,
that was great.
When you've got a laugh that big in your face, you can't mess around.
The one I never anticipated was the I'm out.
Well, I'll tell you what's really even funnier to me than the I'm out is the exit that precedes it.
Who walks around the house like that?
Maybe she's a nudist. You know those nudist colony people.
Yeah.
You stand up and you go,
and you're not gone. You're not gone 15 seconds.
Yeah, you're
15 seconds later, you're back in.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed that one. So the next couple I have for you are taken from a Howard Stern interview with Jerry Seinfeld. And let me get that one. This is from 2013, the first one.
You went on Carson the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You did your act. I don't know how many minutes Carson gave you, like 5 minutes. 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You did it you performed it 200 times.
Maybe 100.
100 times. All right, that's a lot of times.
Still a lot, yeah.
Right. And when you finally got on Carson, which was the goal of every single comedian, were you nervous? I mean, were you just like...
Just out of your mind.
Out of your mind nervous?
Out of your mind.
So how do you get through that? And did you think you did a decent performance the first time you were on there?
It was okay. I wasn't that happy with it.
Was your rhythm off? Was your timing off? Was that the problem?
I was so... I had never been in front of 500 people before.
Oh, my God.
Just the studio audience. I'd never seen an audience that big.
How did they find you to put you on there?
At the Improv in L.A.
And how many years had you been toiling away before they spotted
You know what,
you?
Howard? I didn't toil too hard. It was 4 years. I started in '76. I was on the Tonight Show in '81.
And Johnny, did he give you the? I always thought the comedian should hate Johnny because Johnny would sit there. No other guest went through this, but Johnny would watch you do your performance, and then if he deemed it so worthy, he brought you over to the couch. Like,
No,
that's
well,
demeaning.
the first level is this.
The okay
You
symbol.
get the okay.
Right.
Which is, I got that, and that was still the greatest moment of my life.
Right.
And then 4 or 5 shows later, then they let you on the couch.
Did you ever hang with Johnny personally?
Yes, I did.
And was that comfortable for you, or was he just too iconic and too important to you to have a good time?
Too iconic and too important to really relax.
Right.
But it was me and Gary Shandling.
At Johnny's house?
We went to dinner. This is after he was off the show.
Right.
And I said to Gary, one day I saw Gary, and I said, why don't we call Johnny? We said, one of these days we're going to pick up the paper.
And he's going to be gone.
He's going to be gone. Let's just do it. What's the worst he could...
Wow.
And he made both our lives. Let's call him.
And now Gary, being Gary Shandling, and I know him a little bit, he must have been like, we can't call.
No, Gary, no, he was totally into it. We did it. We went out.
Where'd you go?
We went to this fish place up in Malibu. I don't know what it was, some tiny little fish restaurant.
Was he sick or anything already?
No, he
okay,
was in very good spirits and good health.
And was there stuff to talk about?
Yeah. We talked. Here's one thing I remember. Johnny was talking about how show business is so crazy and so unpredictable. He said, when we heard Lawrence Welk was getting a TV show, it was the biggest joke.
That's
People were pounding the table. They're giving Lawrence Welk a TV show.
Right.
He can't even talk English.
Right.
And of course, it's the biggest hit in history of television.
And by the way, Lawrence Welk even defeated Sid Caesar. And Mel Brooks and all those guys were writing. Sid Caesar came back with a second show. He went up against. I saw this on the Mel Brooks tribute.
Oh, really?
He went up against Lawrence Welk and he got beaten in the. He got killed. That was it. The end of Sid Caesar. Lawrence Welk.
Yeah. So that was his example of don't ever think you know what's going to happen in this business.
So the next one I have is from a few years later, 2017. And that's also with Howard Stern.
We've had private conversations now where we've said to each other, let's not talk about that. Maybe the next time you come on the air, you'll talk about it. Now, one of those conversations was you turned to me and you said, this was at your house. You said to me, hey, tell me the top 10 favorite movies of all time. You asked me that.
Right.
And we started to talk about it, and I said, don't talk about this. We'll talk about it on the air.
Okay.
So what are your top 10? We both agreed.
Top 10 is too many.
5.
Let's do 3.
All right.
Give me your top. I'll give you my top 3.
Well, I said to you at my house, Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And we both agreed on that. But it's not the top 3.
No?
We were talking top 10.
I really love that answer. That was really surprising.
I love Abbott and Costello. And let's face it, their TV show. Talk about Seinfeld, the TV show, and talk about Abbott and Costello. Abbott and Costello, they had a great TV show with all those characters, right?
Do you not see the similarity
Yes.
of my show and that show? I patterned my show after that show.
Did you?
Yes.
Is that the truth, or you're just saying that to appease me?
No. The idea of Abbott and Costello was everybody is evil for no reason.
Right.
Nobody explains why Mike the cop hates Lou.
Yeah.
Why Mr. Botchagaloop is so hostile.
And Mr. Botchagaloop.
Yeah.
I mean, that alone.
We did tons of that on my show.
Right.
We had the street like they had the street.
Yes.
The apartment like they had the apartment. 2 guys who were just trying to figure it out.
Right.
Me and George. That was the genesis of it.
And when you and Larry David sat down and said, hey, we're going to make a TV show, and NBC agreed to make a TV show, you said, hey, we love Abbott and Costello.
No, we never said that.
It was never said out loud.
No, they wouldn't even know what it is. George's middle name is Lou, after Lou Costello.
Oh.
On the show.
Did you ever say to Larry, we've got to fashion this after Abbott and Costello?
Well, I didn't have to say that because we were both similar mindset that this is just going to be as funny as we can make it.
But you never consciously sat down and said, hey, our heroes are Abbott and Costello.
No, we talked about it. Because Abbott and Costello is a pure comedic show. There's no story arcs where anybody really learns anything.
Right.
And that's where that whole thing came.
It's all about the laugh.
All about the laugh. It's a show by two stand-up comics who only care about the laugh.
Right. And you guys said the motto on your TV show was no hugging and no learning.
Right.
And you stuck to that.
Yes.
I never learned anything from an episode of Seinfeld, right?
No.
Right. And nobody hugged.
No.
Just a bunch of people trying to get through life.
Yeah, well, all great comedy, even you go back to Shakespeare, Midsummer Night's Dream, everyone is self-motivated, self-interested. That's how you build comedy.
I have a couple more for you, and then we'll wrap this up. But the next one I have is a Sunday Today interview. And I think you're going to enjoy this one. Hope so.
It's been more than 20 years now since Seinfeld left the air as the #1 show on television. On May 14th, 1998, 76 million Americans watched the series finale and said goodbye to Jerry, Elaine, George, and Kramer. Since then, Jerry Seinfeld has continued the career of a stand-up comedian that started when he was just a 20-year-old from Massapequa on New York's Long Island. Now 64, Seinfeld still spends his days studying the absurdities of our lives and translating them into comedy, perhaps better than anyone ever has. Jerry's latest gig is a run of stand-up shows beginning next month at New York's famed Beacon Theater. He and I, along with a raspy voice, got together on the Beacon stage for a rare interview and our Sunday sit-down.
I don't like anything where people go, woo.
So this place has kind of become your home for stand-up in New York City. You've done the residency before, coming back to do it again. What brings you back here again and again?
It's that baseball glove that just, you can't beat it. You know, you have a few gloves in your life, but there's that one that's just the perfect fit, and the sound when the ball hits the glove, and that's your glove. And this house is my baseball glove.
So what do you do to prepare for a residency different than one-off stand-up gig? Is there something you do differently?
I don't really do anything different except that I just feel different, and I know who I'm talking to.
Right.
I'm talking to New Yorkers.
Right.
So when I talk about how annoying is it to be constantly recommended restaurants by people and how they push you have to go to this restaurant. It's like, okay, or the street cleaner, what is that guy doing? Are they cleaning? Are they really cleaning the street?
He's just kind of moving the trash around, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
Spinning it.
With the trail of water out the back. And are they just laughing in there? Watch out. We're cleaning up.
So you're driving or you're walking down Broadway. You see the street sweeper.
Mm-hmm.
You have that instinct that there's something weird about that street sweeper.
Yeah.
You say, that's stupid.
Yeah.
So what do? You go write it down and say, maybe this works in?
I like to play with it on a pad.
Okay, right, the yellow pads.
Yeah, I love my yellow pads. And I find that to be, that's kind of like my steam room, I just like to just think of, well, what's funny about it,
Right.
Most comedians do not do that, as in my experience of talking to them. They like to work it out on stage. I like to have both. I like to have a little architecture, and then I like to play with it on stage. And then here's the other big secret of comedy. The audience writes most of it. You kind of give them what you think is funny, and they grade your work second to second.
We're talking about where you test drive your material.
Mm-hmm.
You've talked about your audience at home
Mm-hmm.
being pretty brutal because they're funny. Your kids are funny.
Yeah.
I know your wife is funny. Do you test drive some of that around the apartment, material-wise?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I do sometimes. But they are so brutal that I have to say, do you think this is funny? Because if I just do it, like with normal people, you will just kind of drop it in a conversation and see if it gets anything.
Right.
But with my family, you got to announce, I'd like to try a joke out. Because if I don't, you're liable to get, which is far worse than, it's bad enough people don't laugh, but they'll go, you feel funny now, Dad?
Oh.
You feel like you're being funny now? Which is just a gut punch. You know, it's just, they really will gut you.
I'm born in Brooklyn. That's my home borough. And then my parents moved out to Massapequa, which is an Indian name. It means by the mall.
So do you remember the first time someone told you you were funny sometime in Massapequa?
Yeah, sure.
Was it your mom or your dad?
No, I was never funny around them, but my friends did. But I thought they were just as funny.
Yeah.
So the first time I got up in a little club in Midtown Manhattan at a place called the Golden Lion Pub, and they laughed. That was... I'd never thought I could make a non-friend laugh.
No turning back from there for you?
No, that was it.
How old were you at that point?
20.
And then, so how old are you that night on Carson?
26. My favorite song, you pull up to the light and it says, left turn, okay. Don't you like that one little personal touch? It's like they're saying to you, left turn, okay.
How big was that night for you?
Well, I described the other night at the Golden Lion, and then there was that night on The Tonight Show. Then there was performing in the East Room of the White House for the President and Paul McCartney. Performing. Mr. President, First Lady, Sir Paul McCartney, other people.
Those are the nights.
Those are the 3 nights.
As you moved along and moved into Seinfeld.
You faked with me?
Yeah.
You faked with me?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You faked it.
I faked it.
That whole thing, the whole production, it was all an act.
Not bad, huh?
I interviewed Julia Louis-Dreyfus for the show, and she was laughing as I read back to her that famous NBC research note.
Yeah.
Do you still have that framed?
Sure, yeah.
In your bathroom somewhere?
Yes, yes.
I think the line was, no segment of the audience expressed an interest in seeing the show again.
Right.
How did you get through that? How did you power over that?
No, I figured we were dead at that point. It was over. Here's the funny part of the story to me. You know, the whole thing started, the reason I got the series is my manager, George Shapiro, wrote a note to Brandon Tartikoff, the president of NBC, and it was one sentence. He said, call me a crazy guy, but I think someday Jerry Seinfeld is going to be doing a series on NBC. Now, when he wrote that note, it was 1988. I had been on The Tonight Show for 7 years, 3 times a year, destroying, for 7 years, making these people laugh. And George still has to say to NBC, I know this sounds crazy. What was so crazy about the idea? That was network television in the 80s. There was no competition. It was the only game in town.
Do you ever think about what your life would have been like if it had actually been dead?
I guess it would have been okay. It wouldn't have been as good. Who knows? I might be in the same place. But, you know, it was great to be able to make that and contribute that. My wife and I took the kids to do Meals on Wheels. You go around and you give food to people who only get that one meal a day. And every room we went in, it was, you know, an older person or a sick, a frail person. In every one of these rooms, the TV's on. And I thought, oh, that's what you're doing for people. That TV, they're not coming to the Beacon. They can't see that, you know. But you can reach them through TV. And it made me realize, oh, that was really worth it to make that TV show, because I never would have gotten in that room.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really powerful.
And by the way, that epiphany came just a week ago, 20 years after the end of Seinfeld.